Hey, Jason, welcome to the His and Her Money
Hello,
Show.
Jason.
Hey, what's going on, Top? What's going on, Taylor? How y'all doing today?
We are doing well. Super glad to have you on because, man, you've been grinding for a long time now. You've been working towards hitting your financial goals, and you found a unique approach to get there. And we can't wait to dive into your expertise on the matter. But before we start talking about all that, can you just say hello to everyone that's tuned in right now and let them know what you are all about?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jason Butler. I'm the owner of My Money Chronicles, which is a website where I discuss debt, personal finance, side hustles, and a little bit of travel. I also talk about my debt struggle. I'm in about $65,000 worth of debt right now. I started paying it off back in 2015. Well, I attempted to pay it off back in 2015. Set a 3-year goal. I failed miserably. Had a lot of things happen during that time, a lot of ups and downs, and now I'm on a good track, and it will be paid off sooner than later.
Good stuff. Talk about that, man, because nobody wants to talk about the ups and the downs. You tried to do the right thing with your debt payoff. You set a goal, you went for it, but you didn't make it. Talk about that journey and how you were able to remain resilient and not just throw in the towel and say, forget it, it didn't work, but now you've regrouped and now you're back on track.
Yeah, pretty much. I say my journey started in 2015. That's when I got a little bit more serious about my website. At the time, the website was called thebutlerjournal.com. I've since rebranded, but I saw other personal finance bloggers out there paying off debt and just change their lives for the better. So I figured I would do the same thing. So in 2015, I started paying off the debt back in January of that year, and I set a goal to have it paid off by my 35th birthday, which was October 17th of last year, 2018. And let's just say it didn't work at all. Like during that time, I did pay off over $14,000 worth of debt, but I struggled. Like literally 2015 to 2016, I had no idea which side hustles would really make money. So I tried a lot of different things. I dabbled and dabbed with freelance writing. And at one point, I was doing pretty good with that. But I realized that I didn't want to spend my weekends writing all the time. So I kind of like stopped doing that. Not to mention the fact that I also lost all my clients within 6 weeks of the same time. So after I lost those clients, I stopped doing that side hustle. I started doing eBay on and off. Well, I actually started doing eBay back in 2010, and I got a little bit more serious within the 2015, but I didn't think about it that much. So I was doing that just a little bit and just doing other little side hustles around the way, like T-shirts here, trying to just flip other things. And around 2017, I started to get more serious with eBay. Started going to thrift stores at least twice a month, and then I started to notice a pattern. The more items that I listed online, the more money that I would make. So instead of going to thrift stores twice a month, I started going to thrift stores at least once a week. Usually on Saturdays from 10 to like 2 or 10 to 3. And literally in the last 2.5 years, I've actually started flipping a lot of things on eBay. I went from making $200 a month to currently making at least 800 to $1,000 per month with eBay, and it's going well right now for me. It's going pretty well. It's going pretty well with me for me right now, and that's one of the side hustles. The other side hustle is selling T-shirts online. That's up and down, and I'm just making it happen and trying to continue to pay off this debt.
Awesome. So let's talk about the eBay because that seems like that is working for you now. Are there anything in particular that you're buying that you see that's selling better than others? Like talk about that whole. How did you discover like which items to buy, which ones worked, which ones did not? Did you try some of everything? Talk about your approach.
At the beginning of my eBay journey, I only sold what I knew. I'm a huge sports fan. I love baseball, football, and basketball. So when I used to go to the thrift stores, I used to look for jerseys, literally like Michael Jordan jerseys, Atlanta Falcons jerseys, Braves jerseys, all types of stuff would sell. Like I never forget, one of my first big sales was a Dwayne Wade Heat jersey. I found it in the Salvation Army for $3, listed it online for 45 bucks, and it actually sold for that amount within 2 days. That was a $42 profit right there, and I was hooked. Like it's amazing. Like I remember another big flip that I found. that I had happen was I found a Memphis Grizzlies throwback jersey, bought it for like $10, and it sold in 3 minutes for $100. And sports items that will always be my go-to item. But since then, I've also started selling different things such as coffee mugs. At one point, Starbucks coffee mugs was huge in reselling. Now the market is kind of oversaturated, so I can't make as much money as I used to with the Starbucks coffee mugs, but it's still pretty profitable depending on what it is. But now I sell shirts, I sell a lot of shoes. I used to only sell Air Jordans back in the day, but I sell running shoes such as New Balance, Asics, Brooks. There's also this brand called Hoka 11. Literally, people are paying hundreds of dollars for these shoes. Like, I'm actually making more money on the running shoes than I'm making off the used Jordans right now, which is a surprise. And the reason and how I found all this stuff out, by researching. Literally, I joined a couple Facebook groups, Facebook eBay groups, and I saw other people posting about those shoes. So I figured I might as well try it. And for the most part, it's been working. Like, I've had some duds, like trying to sell video games from time to time. Like, I haven't really played video games that much in the last 10, 15 years. So I'm not sure what's popular anymore, but I've tried to sell some of those things and I haven't really made that much money off of them. Also, board games are hit or miss. There are some board games, such as this game called Cash Flow from the person who made Rich Dad Poor Dad, who was Robert Kiyosaki. He came out with the game called Cash Flow. There's version 1 and version 2. Literally, people are buying that board game for $60, $70, or $80 online. So I found at least 5 of those different board games at the stores, and they've sold well. But on the flip side, I may go find a Monopoly game, and it may sit in my store for 8 or 9 months. So it's hit or miss with board games. But literally, I just test out a lot of different things and do a lot of research online. And also, I use the eBay app as well.
Now, for those listening, like, man, wait a minute. Now, I think I can get into this game a little bit. I know you've helped a lot of people get their start. Where do you see people going wrong when trying to create a side hustle out of reselling things on eBay?
I see people going wrong in a couple places. First, they're super duper happy when they first start. And if their item doesn't sell in the first 3 hours, they're pissed. When it comes to reselling, majority of the items are not going to sell that fast. I will say right now, my turnaround is about 25 to 28 days. And that's good for me. And the reason why that's good is because I have over 250 items in my store. Now, if I was selling like maybe larger items, or if I had my hands on Jordans or jerseys all the time, of course the turnaround time would be like 3 to 5 days. But that's one thing that I see. A lot of people just get mad because their items don't sell as fast as they would like it to. The second thing that I see, a lot of people they list their items too much. Like, for example, if it's an item that I know that you can make, like if it's an item like, for example, we'll just say some pad leather Jordan Air, some Jordan 11s, pad leather shoes. If I could make $100 off those shoes, I've seen people list them for $250 or $300. And yeah, you can make that if they're brand new. But if they're used, you can't shoot that high. And I see it over and over again. Like, I even have friends who sell different items, and I try to tell them to like lower their prices, but they don't list it. They don't listen because they're blinded by that large number, which isn't a bad thing. But if you actually want to get a good sale, you gotta list it a little bit lower and gotta be a little bit more, gotta have like a little bit more, a better price than just something ridiculous like that.
So what has been your approach then? Now you're doing very well on eBay. Are you strictly using these funds to throw at your debt? Like, is that particularly your goal, primarily your goal?
Yeah, that's my goal right now, because actually it's crazy. Like, I always wanted to just use my side hustles to pay off my debt. But in my previous job, to be honest, I wasn't making a lot of money, so I had to use my side hustle money for regular stuff. And I had got comfortable because I did enjoy my job. I was at a university for the last 4 years, And I will say that I got stuck in my comfort zone. Well, something changed this year. Like I realized that I got to get out of my comfort zone. And if I want to really pay off this debt, I got to make it happen. So I was able to get a new job, and I got a pretty decent raise. And with me getting that raise, I don't have to use my side hustle money for regular bills anymore. So all the eBay money right now is going strictly towards my student loans and my small credit card debt that I have right now, which is a beautiful sight and a beautiful feeling.
Nice, nice.
Awesome.
Now you're in these thrift stores and it's a thrift store, right?
Yeah.
So 99% of this stuff is not going to be brand new that you're finding. But what type of condition does it need to be in order to be a good resale item on eBay?
On a scale of 1 to 12, let me slow down for a minute. It depends on what the items are. Like if it's a jersey or something like that, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say that the jersey needs to be like an 8, like maybe a 7.5 or an 8. The letters need to still be pretty nice. Don't need to be any cracking in the letters. The jersey shouldn't have any holes or anything like that. It don't need to be faded or anything at all color-wise. Now, when it comes to tennis shoes, no lie. The tennis shoes, especially like the Jordans or even some of the running shoes, they could be a 5 or a 6. Like I've sold a pair of Jordans, some of my old Jordans that I used to have, where the sole was breaking, and like they were dirty, and I sold them for $50, and the shoes were like 8 years old. So it really just depends on the item. But majority of the time, the items need to be at least in good condition. Like when it comes to like my clothes, I also wash all my clothes as well. Like for example, the jerseys, the shirts and stuff that I find, I make sure that they're in decent condition and I wash them to make them look better and also smell good, because I don't want to ship dirty stuff to anybody, because that's not good business. And I wouldn't be able to get repeat customers by doing that.
So for those people starting out, what are some things that they need? Let's go on the tech side. We're going to eBay, we're setting up an account. Are there some things we need to do to make us stand out as a good seller when we're creating our eBay store?
Yeah. The first thing is you got to have one of these. You got to have a smartphone that has memory, because you're going to be taking pictures a lot. Unless you have a camera, you're going to use that cell phone to take a lot of pictures. I take at least 12 pictures of every item. Now I might not post all 12 pictures of the item on eBay, but I take at least 12 pictures. And the reason I do that is because, all right, you selling something online, people are not going to be able to come to your house and see it. The only way they're going to see it is by what you take, by the pictures that they see online. So the more pictures that you have are the better. And right now in 2019, smartphones have great cameras. So you got to have a good smartphone. That's the first thing. Number two, I would suggest that you need to have a decent laptop that has some good space, because you literally gonna depending if you want to like add your auctions or update your items to eBay with your phone, you can. But for me, I just transfer my pictures to the computer and upload them from there. So you got to make sure that you have a lot of space for that. Let's see, this is not really technology, but this is something that you definitely need to have too. You got to have a light. You're going to need to take pictures, and you're not always going to take the pictures during the daytime. You're going to need some kind of like lighting. And let's see, as far as technology, that's pretty well. No, one more major thing too. You're going to need the eBay app. When you're in the stores, if you find something and you're not sure about it, let's just say, for example, a Spalding basketball. A Spalding basketball that has a signature on it. You're gonna like type that item on the eBay app to see if it's worth purchasing. If it's selling for a lot of money, you can do that. I do that with all the items, with like majority of the items that I look for in a thrift store. I type them inside my phone on the eBay app to see what the price is. So that's another reason you need a phone, and you're gonna need to download that app. So that's pretty much it when it comes to like the technology.
Imagine a life where your money isn't strangled by mortgage payments. Imagine what you could do when you don't have to send them money that you work so hard for. Come get simple, powerful, and real solutions to eliminating monthly mortgage payments forever. America's #1 money couple presents Crush My Mortgage. In this exclusive course, you will be equipped with strategies to help you move faster toward the promised land of owning your house free and clear. Learn strategies to help you in the areas of payment acceleration, extra income generation, and wealth creation, all to help you crush your mortgage. Visit crushmymortgage.com and get started today. Join us on the path to power, freedom, and legacy. That's crushmymortgage.com.
So I think that it's pretty remarkable how well you're doing on eBay. I mean, to make about $800 a month that's amazing,
Outstanding.
especially as a side hustle, and to be buying things from the thrift store and turn around and reselling them. To kind of give people an idea, have you ever calculated how much you've made on average when it comes to eBay?
Let's see. On average, I think last year, which was my best year doing it part time, I made over $7,000. This year, it's probably gonna be more than that. Like I guarantee it's gonna be more than that, especially with these last 3 months. Because October and November, we're basically up here leading up to Christmas time, and December is gonna be a big month as well. So I'm close, like literally in the last 3 years, I gotta be at least close to 12 or 13,000. And this is just something like that I've been doing in my part time, in my spare time. And I gotta be close to at least 12 or 13,000.
That's pretty good, especially for it to be a side hustle and helping you pay off your debt. Now, I'm sure that people can probably like get things out of control, right? Maybe they can be buying a lot of items and it's piling up. So, do you have any suggestions on what you do? Is there only a certain amount of inventory that you carry, or is there only a set dollar amount that you only give yourself a budget every single week or month? Like, how do you control your spending around this?
That's a great question. I will say at one point there was a certain amount of stores, I mean a certain amount of items that I wanted to keep in my store, keep in my house. But now there's no set amount. Like I currently have 251 items in my store, and I'm looking at about 200 of them right now in my living room. I have a I have a shelf right here with majority of the items, and then a couple of them are in the closet behind me, near my doorway. Um, but nah, I literally, if I could get up to 300 in the store, I'll be happy. But I sell so much, I can't get past 260. Like that's the highest amount I ever had was 260. And once I got there, I literally had 5 items selling a day. So it's always gonna be between 250 and 260 for the time being. As far as like a budget, I try to I try not to spend over $50 every Saturday in the thrift store. That's just a good number for me. Majority of the time, I spend between $30 though for the items. And like I know on Instagram, every Saturday I post like my haul. I post a video and I post a picture of all the items that I purchased. So like the most that I would spend is 50 though, but majority is probably like 25 or 30 is like the average.
Now, how are you factoring in shipping on
Yeah,
your
I was
end?
gonna say
So, like,
too.
what are the things you need to think about the envelope or box,
hmm
the amount that you got to pay at the post office? Like, how do you come up with that number while you're in the thrift store and you're doing the mental math? You look on the app and you see that this item is selling for $50 on eBay. So how do you then backwards plan and say, okay, I need to factor in this much for shipping, this much for the shipping materials?
Okay, back in the day when I first started, I had a lot of failures. I had a lot of L's doing shipping. I would purchase items and not even really understand the shipping thing. Like I never forget, I bought an item for like $5, and I knew I was gonna be able to at least flip it for 10. But the thing was, I didn't calculate the weight. It was kind of heavy. Can I tell y'all that I shipped the item for $11? I'm like, come on, man. I'm like literally like I'm in the hole. So that taught me a lesson. And the lesson was to basically do a little bit more research and pay attention. If the item is real heavy, just leave it in the store. Or make sure that you'll be able to like charge enough for shipping. Because sometimes people ain't gonna want to pay $30, $40 for shipping for an item. Like I've been lucky. I sold a painting about 3 years ago, and the shipping for that painting came up to $30, and I actually found somebody to pay for that. But the crazy thing is that painting sat for like a couple years before that reason, because nobody wanted to pay $30 to have it shipped. But I got lucky to find a buyer. Now what I do, I literally don't get big items, like items that are like 20 pounds. They will stay in the thrift store, even if I know I can make money off of them. Because I do Craigslist for some things, but I feel a lot better doing eBay, because I'm not really the biggest fan of meeting people all the time when it comes to certain types of things. So what I do, I also check the app. If an item that is similar to the item that I purchased, shipping for $9.99 or $10.99, I make sure that I think about that when I do the price. Now, one thing that I've done for majority of my items, I offer free shipping, but I raise the price a little bit higher, saying basically the price includes the shipping. Like, for example, if I'm going to sell a basketball jersey, well, that's not a good example. If I'm going to sell a pair of Timberland boots, y'all know Timberland boots are kind of heavy. Let's just say the regular price, or the price that I think I can make off these Timberland boots, are $40, and they're selling on eBay for about $50 or $60. But I think I can get, well, I would say that they're selling on eBay for about $40. I think I can get 40 or possibly more. I'm going to do one or two things. I'm going to, if I don't want to do free shipping, I will make the boots $29.99 and then add shipping for $12.99. So that's basically still getting me close to my 40. Or if they're like special and I think I can get a little bit more than that, I would just raise the price to 50. Basically 50 free shipping. So I would just still use the $10 for shipping and still make the $40 off the boots. That's what I do for like I would say 75% of my items have free shipping. The other ones I charge, because sometimes I just like to test it out just to see if people will actually pay for an item with shipping. And literally I get sales both ways.
Now, if you've mentioned shoes a couple of times here. So how do I ship shoes? Do I need to find shoes that have the box already? Or if I'm in a thrift store and I see some shoes in good condition that don't have a box, do I then need to go buy boxes, wrapping paper? Like, how does it look?
It's a great question. I've done it both ways before, but I would say the majority of the time in the thrift stores, the shoes don't come with the boxes. You just literally just grab the shoes off the rack and buy them and bring them home. What I do, I go to Walmart. Walmart have a couple of boxes that are like shoe box sizes. They are 82 cents and 64 cents. I rack up on those boxes. Like, I literally went and actually grabbed a couple before we had this interview today. But I do that all the time. Then you can either get like some wrapping, like some shipping type paper, or use plastic bags. I have a lot of plastic bags from like going to Kroger or Walmart and stuff like that. So I use 2 or 3 bags every time I ship off shoes, like wrap them up, make sure everything is good, and then just put it in that box and ship it that way. And man, you can't really beat paying 64 cents or 82 cents for a box.
Yeah, that's the truth. You bring up a very good point, because that was going to be a question I was going to ask you. Are you just tied down to eBay? Do you look at Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist? But you bring up a point. Not a lot of people like to meet people face to face. Not a lot of people like to drive to go meet people, right? Just to sell items. And so eBay is definitely a great option, because now you're able to ship it to the person that's purchasing it. So I think that's a very good point to make. Now, what do you do with the items that are in your store months after months after month, or week after week? Do you have a process when you remove them and then you put them back up in a few months? Like, how do you work that process to kind of keep your items fresh and new?
Basically what I do with the item, it's crazy. Like, I look at my inventory a lot. Like, I have an Excel sheet that I basically created. It has the item name, it has the platform that the item is selling on, the date that I bought it, the date that it sold, how much I paid for it, like from the thrift store, and how much it sold for. The crazy thing, out of the 250 items that I have now, I have 51 items that has been on my store for at least a year. What I do with those items, every 2 or 3 months, I change either the title or I lower the price. That's one thing that I do. For a few items, I take different pictures. Just like, for example, This cell phone that I got it a few months ago. Half those items, I took pictures with the older phone. The older phone didn't have as good of a camera as this phone has. So a couple months ago, I took pictures of about 10 of those older items. And the crazy thing is, with the new pictures and the new listings, 3 of those items sold that week. So I do that from time to time. And I recently did that like 2 weeks ago, and I sold 2 items from 2017, and last week sold an item from 2018. So for the most part, I just retake pictures and change the price.
When you're listing items, are you using the auction setting, or are you just listing them at a set price?
I see majority of items are a set price for me. Like I have an eBay store. I get 250 set price, and I basically call it buy it now. So for example, if I post a bobblehead online for $25.99, there's no list, and if somebody wanted to buy it, like there's no auction. That person can buy that bobblehead flat out for $29.99. Like, let's see, what was my stats? About 190 of those items are listed as buy it now. And the reason why I have some of them split is because my store, like I said earlier, it has 250 buy it now items included and 250 auction items. The reason why I use some of the auction items is because I don't want to use all my buy it now items up, especially when I buy new stuff. Because once I go past the 250 per month, that's when eBay starts to charge me. I think it's 30 cents per item since I have a store, and that can add up. But right now, I just like try to at least keep between 170 to 200 items as buy it now, and then the rest of them are like auctions. But I get sales both ways, but I'm the type of person, I want my money now. So buy it now is a lot better because it's instant. An auction could take 7 to 10 days.
Awesome. So, do you have any goals? What's your next goal then, or when are you projecting that hopefully you'll be out of debt and have these student loans paid off?
That's crazy. Let's see. My next goal is to honestly, I want to get to about 1,500 per month with eBay. Like I'm going to like start trying some different items as well. Like I want to like start selling more electronics. So I'll try some different things. Like right now I have a VCR that I'm trying to sell. Like don't laugh, people still actually use VCRs. And they sell for a pretty good amount of money too, surprisingly. But I'm doing that. I'm trying to find some CD Walkmans because they still sell as well, like 50 or 60 or 70 bucks. People will buy them. But I want to sell more electronics. That's one goal. And honestly, I don't have a date this time when it comes to like paying off my debt because I failed. Like I failed so bad last time. I don't want to put a date out there this time. But what I am doing, I started last year. I basically said that I wanted to have $20,000 worth of debt paid off. Starting last October, I said I wanted to have 20,000 paid off by December 31st of this year. Right now, I'm at 9,000. So I ain't there yet, but I'm about to go crazy this this fourth quarter of the year with eBay and a couple of my other side hustles. So that's kind of like the goals that I'm doing now. Doing smaller goals instead of bigger goals.
Yeah,
right now.
I love that. I love giving yourself a goal and trying to reach at it as much as you can, right? I think 9,000 is
That's
phenomenal.
incredible.
Like, that really is. That's incredible. And so, I mean, that's something that we did even with paying off our home. Like we just said 5 years, and it seemed almost impossible, but we just kept trying at it, right? And just kept going forward and side hustling, just doing different things. And so we're big fans of goals. So kudos to you. That's great.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. And I know, like, I kind of like when I first started this journey, especially like when I met y'all at FinCon in 2015, and when I was pretty much like new and stuff like that. I wish I would have forced myself to do stuff back then a little bit more than I did because I was grinding and I was hustling then, but I wasn't as focused. Cause like I look at what I'm doing now when it comes to eBay, I could have been doing that. But I was focused on freelancing or other side hustles, which I ultimately didn't like, and I ultimately failed with them. But I guess they say everything happened for a reason, so that's why like I'm doing eBay. I stepped out my comfort zone to do Uber Eats and a couple of other side hustles. So I know I'll definitely make this goal happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important. You were trying
That's
things to
right.
see what stuck, and
Yep.
for you, eBay stuck. But you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't realize that eBay was your thing if you didn't have these other things that helped you realize that
That's
those
right.
were not your thing. So I think that everybody on this journey trying to figure out a good side hustle will go through that. Some people are going to try this eBay thing and it's going to be like, nah, I don't think that's me. And
Mhm.
others are going to be like, yo, this is it. This is what I want to do. So I think it's a process. And I just think that's just a natural occurrence. We tried
Mhm.
a bunch of things as
Yep.
well on our journey, and some things stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Some things were only seasonal.
Yep.
Speaking of the eBay, this is what stuck for you. If I'm brand new, you done fired me up and I'm ready to give this a shot. Is it better for me to open an account in my name? Do I need to go and do a store right away? Do I put my picture up? Do I create some logo? How should my presence look on eBay for people
Just see, in
to
the
take me
beginning,
serious?
if you're starting out, don't worry about a store. The first thing I want you to do is basically figure out what you want to sell at first, because you got to know, like, you can't just go in out there blind. Like, I see it all the time. People just start trying to sell things. They don't make no money because they're trying to sell everything. You got to start out with what you know. If you know sports, sell sports related items. If you know purses, sell purses or dresses or something like that. Start with what you know. eBay, for the first 50 items, eBay is basically, they don't charge you for the first 50 items. It's free to list those items. So in the beginning, there's no reason for you to get a store. Like right now, my store is $24 per month, but it's worth it because I have over 200 items in the store and I'm making a decent amount of money. But if you're just starting out, it doesn't make sense for you to spend that, because there's a good chance in the beginning, before you know what you're doing, you're not gonna make that money back. So I would just say you don't need a store. You wouldn't need a logo or anything like that. All that will happen once you decide to continue to sell. Like if you're making over $400 a month and also have over 100 items that you're trying to sell, yeah, it's time to get you a store. But if not, nah, just sell regularly, because you get 50 free items, 50 free listings per month.
Yeah, that's dope. Now you mentioned that Facebook groups are out there. Were there some that you would recommend people participate in to help them get themselves organized and inspired on this journey?
Yep, there's a couple eBay Facebook groups. There's one called eBay Thrifters. It's pretty cool. I think it's like 25,000 people in there. There's another one called the Thrifting Board. It's a dope group. It's a lot of people in there. It's a lot of good info is in there. People show their flips. They let you know about items that you can sell. Like, I didn't even know this was a thing up until a couple years ago. But a lot of people make money off discontinued items. Just like, for example, Betty Crocker had stopped selling some kind of like cooked cake icing a couple years ago. People started selling it on eBay and Amazon for like 40, $50, and people are actually buying it. So I learned all that stuff from a Facebook group. And shoot, shameless plug, I'm actually starting the group on my birthday. Yeah, so y'all the first to hear about that. So yeah, I'm
What's the
actually
name of it?
starting
Yeah,
a
tell
Facebook
everybody
group.
the name.
That's gonna be called My Money Chronicles eBay/side hustles, and it's gonna be pretty cool. Like, we're gonna have some good information in there. I'm gonna be in there. A couple of my friends that sell online are gonna be on there as well, and we're gonna have a lot of good information for everybody in there. So definitely check it out. Yeah, but it's not live yet. It'll be live in a couple weeks though.
All right. Now you're the man when it comes to this stuff. So if people want to keep up with you, follow you, learn from you, how do they find you?
Yeah, well, check me out on Facebook first. My Facebook page is My Money Chronicles. I'm also on Instagram at My Money Chronicles, and on Twitter, Money_Chronicle. And those are basically the places where I'm at the most. Feel free to holler at me. I literally answer questions all the time because I'm posting like a lot of eBay stuff, and I'm down to help, because I believe in a saying called "Everybody eats." Everybody has the opportunity to make money. There is no money shortage. Everybody can sell if they put their mind to it and flip these items. You just got to know what you're doing. So feel free to follow me and hit me up, and I'll make sure that you make it happen.
Yo, this has been good.
Great.
I think you have inspired a lot of people to get out there and get this money, put this work in, and start making money on eBay. So thanks, Jason, for sharing all this with us.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate y'all for having me. And it's been a long time coming since that first spin.